conglomerates. Senator Tom Cotton's with us from Arkansas. Senator Cotton, I've heard a lot of things before, but now it's the meat conglomerates. Darn it.
Yeah, Laura, they're blaming everyone for this record inflation when it just goes back to Democratic policies. Look, we've had this pandemic for 2 years. We didn't have record inflation in 2020. We only had it in 2021 when the Democrats are in charge spending trillions of dollars to make sure that there's more money chasing fewer goods because of all the lockdowns and the capacity restrictions you still have in Democratic governed states. First, it was oil and gas companies. Now it's meat conglomerates. Maybe next week it's going to be the elf on the shelf when there aren't enough Christmas presents under the tree.
Oh, the elf on the shelf. Did you have to bring that up, Senator? Okay, so there was a DNC holiday party tonight. Neither of us happened to have been invited, but Biden was there and he was feeling pretty bold.
We won as a unified Democratic Party, more unified than ever. Now we look at 2022. I want to tell my Republican friends, get ready, pal. You're going in for a problem. And we need to stay unified. We have to keep making the case. And if we do, I believe we're going to win.
Senator, last time I checked, Democrats are having greater doubts about Biden than ever before. Independents, they're off the charts against Biden's job approval. So does he know a poll, something about a poll we don't?
Yeah, the Democrats are going to be unified in a massive historic defeat next November if they continue to pursue this massive and reckless tax and spending bill. We just learned on Friday that if you eliminated all the budget gimmicks, it would be $5 trillion of spending, Laura. $3 trillion of new deficit spending. It would do things like give amnesty to illegal immigrants. It would devastate faith-based and family-based child care. It would implement major parts of the Green New Deal to make it more expensive to drive pickup trucks or SUVs while rich people are getting tax breaks to buy electric vehicles. And of course, it would continue to add more fuel to the fire of inflation that's hurting so many families. The American people spoke pretty clearly last month in places like Virginia and New Jersey, Long Island, Minneapolis, even Seattle. And if the Democrats don't wake up and hear it, they're going to face a massive defeat next November.
Now, I thought I had heard it all until tonight on MSNBC, where they tried to point out that the real problem with Biden's agenda is they're not getting enough credit from the media for all their accomplishments.
He literally has not seen a good headline in, I would say, maybe 6 months. And the reality also is the press is simply covering Biden the way his opponents would want him to be covered. Nothing positive that Biden has done has gotten any coverage.
Senator, what positive has Biden done? Sorry, but I actually was trying to think of that today. I couldn't think of much.
Well, I'm sure MSNBC's tens and tens of viewers all across the country will believe that. But for the rest of us, it's just a matter of looking at the scoreboard, as they used to say in football games. I mean, the scoreboard doesn't lie. Look at the disastrous and humiliating withdrawal from Afghanistan earlier this year, or record inflation. You know, in November, Joe Biden said he was going to do something after it was announced we had record high inflation in 30 years. And he did. In December, we now have 40-year record highs of inflation. Or look at the crime wave that continues to crash across the country. Now you've got left-wing looting mobs going out. They first rob from Home Depot all the crowbars and the hammers, and then they use those to go rob the jewelry stores and the electronics stores. The facts don't lie. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party this year have delivered failure after failure after failure. That's why the American people aren't buying what the Democrats are selling.
Senator, I have to ask you really quickly about Liz Cheney and her off-the-wall obsession with text messages to Mark Meadows. Now, I don't know if you saw me earlier, but I read all of my tweets, my public tweets that day, January 6th. They totally match what I said to Meadows and what I said at night. But she's like a woman obsessed. Have you checked on her lately? Have you chatted with her on text message? I want to see your text messages, Senator.
Laura, I did see what you said earlier in the evening, and I saw what Sean Hannity said, and the same is true of Brian Kilmeade. You were apparently texting Mark Meadows to encourage him to try to get the violence under control. That's exactly what you and Sean and Brian and so many of us said on January 6th, that we cannot tolerate any kind of rioting or violence or chaos. That is the same things that we said throughout 2020 when you had left-wing BLM mobs rioting in our streets and looting and committing arson. I don't really understand the media's obsession today with you and Sean and Brian and others saying privately exactly what you said publicly on January 6th of this year.
Senator, thank you. I appreciate it.